Hello, all. And today it's a little bit off topic, but we're talking about what is this? And seriously, what is this? Okay. So before we get into it, I would like to thank all of you to keep watching these videos and all your comments. Either they are good or bad, I love reading them. So thank you so much to keep adding the comments and having faith in me of making sure that whatever you add as a comment, I'll try to make a video if possible. But okay, keeping that aside, let's come to what is this. Now, what is this is getting a lot of buzz in Twitter, and this is related to Business Central. So if you're thinking this is not related to Business Central, stay with me. So it's getting a lot of buzz on Twitter, and it's something new that's coming in Business Central for developers. So in this particular video, we'll try to understand what is this, where is this, how to use this, and then I'll leave you with a question of from where this is. Okay, so let's get into it. So recently, Microsoft released version 24, which was pretty obvious. Everybody knows it. But as we all know, that Microsoft is already behind the scene working on the next version, which is 2024 release wave 2, which is version 25. And if you had been watching all the videos in this channel, you'll notice that we talked about that in the extension management, for the AL language, there is always a switch to pre-release version, which allows you to get what's kind of coming into the future. So when you click on this button, what will happen? Let's see. This will switch to pre-release version and enable updates to the latest version always. Now, whatever the version that is coming in, whatever the features that will be part of it, will kind of get available when we switch to pre-release version. So just head up to your VS Code, go to your extension management, choose a language extension for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, and switch to pre-release version. Once you do that, you will see this icon to switch as release version. So for all these years, whenever we are trying to refer a function in the same object, we always tend to either create a variable or use rec if it's a table variable, right? For the next upcoming release, there is a new addition which is called this. Now, I'm not a developer who have worked in multiple programming language, so I'll leave that question to you, and you can surely add it into the comments when you're watching this if you know from where it is coming. So let's understand it, what it is. Let's first try with a code unit. So let's create a code unit, and let's call it as, and I'll use the number 70,000 SDH demo this. Okay, so now I'm creating a new code unit, which is SDH demo this. Now we need to understand what happens. So in some programming language, the keyword this is utilized to refer to the current class or object, whatever that is, right? We need to make sure that whatever that language is, and you guys are a better judge of it because, as I said, I haven't worked in multiple languages, but that programming language piece, which is this, is brought into Business Central. So let's try to understand what happens. So in AL language version 14, which is this, there's the new keyword introduced, which is called this, which is used for self-referencing on all the objects. It helps you in certain ways, and we'll understand how it helps. So let's think about it like if I'm creating, let's say, procedure here. Let's create a procedure. And am I doing it wrong? I should not be. Okay. And I call it as demo procedure. Okay. Okay. And then I should be able to, let's say, define a trigger on run. Okay. Now, typically, if I have to call this procedure, I will do a demo procedure and it'll be called. But now I should be able to use this dot demo procedure. Okay, but as you notice that there is a error because this keyword is available from runtime version 14.0. So you need to also make sure that you do one more step, that in your app.json you set to runtime to 14.0. Now what is runtime 14.0? If you hover it over it, it'll tell you that it is something which will be available, which is mapping to the release wave 2, which is version 25. Okay, now as you can see, now this is referring to the current object, which is sdh demo this, and not just the procedure. Let's say if I create a variable called myvar of type integer, what I can do now is I can do a this dot myvar. So this kind of gives you access the this variable or this new data type, a reference gives you the context of the same object. Okay, so using this uh, new keyword this, you will be able to refer to the current instance of that particular object where you are in. Now if for some example, if I'm creating a new code unit, also another code unit, code unit 70102, and let's say my code unit, for some reason if I'm also having a procedure here, let's say procedure, okay, and this is demo2 proc, and I'm also learning it at this point, but I just thought about it because there is a lot about being talked about it. If for some reason I have to pass the reference of the previous code unit into this code unit while I'm calling it from somewhere, let's say if I'm calling it from here, then I can do that, right? So if I create a variable here called demo2 of type code unit, my code unit, which I should not be doing, but let's see. Well, let me change the name. Let's do F2 so that it gets updated everywhere. Okay. So now if I'm calling demo2 here and utilizing demo2 dot demo proc, but for the reason if I would like to have a reference to this particular code unit, I can surely do it here with saying, okay, main code unit of type code unit sdh demo this. Now if I have to pass this, call this method with this code unit, I can surely do it as with this. Now because this is a pointer to the current object, this will refer to this code unit, and I'll be easily able to kind of pass that parameter to that particular code unit. Okay, now is it just for the code unit? No, but also think about from the procedure of when you are doing a manual binding, where it's the event subscription type is manual. So in those scenarios, you have to bind and unbind that code unit in that particular object. In those scenarios also, you can use this. Now let's look at the pages. Let's try to create a new page and see what happens. Okay. So if I do a page, and again I'll change it to 70, and let's say it called as sdh demo customer, coming from customer table. Okay, and it's a list page. Okay, users category list, and let's finish this. So I just get a skeleton of it. Now what happens if I would like to add a field? Let's use the AZAL extension and then we'll see is it possible or not. I just added address and address too. Currently it's passing to rec. Can I do it this? I don't know, but let's see. No. The reason is because this is referring to the current object. It is not referring to the current object source table. So you need to understand the context of it. So it'll still be the rec because it is coming from the record, which is the table where it is, But anything that you do which is specific to this page, let's say on trigger on after get record, let's say you are doing something, uh, let's say you would like to change the editable property of the field. So you can surely refer this dot address. Can I do that? Okay. Okay. Editable, get record, object ID, run model. So you can do all this with the cur. Instead of using the cur page, you can just do a this reference to be true. Can I still use the cur page? I guess cur page dot editable as, let's say, false. And can I use both of them together? And I haven't tried this, but let's see. This dot cur page. Oh yeah, I can do this dot cur page dot editable false. So as you can see that the cur is used for the current page or current table or current report. The new keyword kind of replaces that if needed. That you can replace it with this and it'll perform in the same way like this. So this and this are, oh, sorry, this line and this line is technically the same thing if I just replace this with the true here. Okay. So both of them are kind of the same line. It's just an, this is currently, it's just an another option of referring to the current object. And the same applies for table. So let's create a new table, see how it works, because in table I think there will be a lot of cases where you'll be dealing with it. Let's say demo table, and I have a field here called code and description. Okay, of type code and length 20 and description as text of 100. Okay. Now if I would like to refer anything here, I should be able to do, let's say, a proc procedure, and here I can refer, hopefully this dot description is just replaces the rec more or less, if you think about it from that perspective. So any reference to the current object or current method. So if I would like to call my procedure within this, I can do that just by using this. So going forward, the new this clause becomes a replacement. I don't know when we'll start seeing the changes of from the Microsoft side on the extensions, hopefully in the next release. But then as of today, consider it as a replacement. I was reading about it that if you activate the code analyzers and then you don't use this as of today, that's a warning symbol that may change in future, hopefully, but I don't think it's coming. This is coming to go away. This is going to stay. Okay, so this keyword is going to stay and hopefully it doesn't go away and it sticks to the same error languages or warnings that are reference to the old object. Now what is in for you right now? Just remember, just keep this in mind that this is coming, and if the warning stays with version 25, then you might have to uh, kind of fix those warnings in your code when you getting upgraded to version 25. So we talked about what is this, from where it is coming. That is a question for you. So let me know from which programming language you think this is coming. Is this coming from C Sharp, .NET? I have no clue. So if you know from where this is coming, this is coming, then add it into the comment section. That'll also help me to learn something new that it is kind of reference to that language. And the other question for you, are we moving toward a different programming language? If that's true, I I think it's time, and I like the Microsoft strategy to kind of moving it at a slower pace, so that the developer community with Nav or Business Central kind of get some time to learn about how it's changing, and there's not a huge change where we see a lot of gap into it. So the legacy NAV, then became CAL, which was always CAL, and then the RTC was introduced, where there were some changes for sure. Now, then the AL was introduced, which had some more changes. The only problem is that you need to keep yourself updated. You can't just leave the product or technology for, let's say, next 3 years and then say, oh, this is completely changed. Because yes, in next 3 years, I'm hoping, based on how Microsoft is changing things, I'll not be surprised if the whole BC or the AL language kind of shift to a completely different programming language, which are known into the community. So let me know your views about the two questions, from where this is coming, into the comment section. And the second one, is there a future direction of the programming language that you think it's going to shift as we move toward into the future? So as far as I knew, we did talk about what is this, where it is coming, how you can utilize it, the possible warnings that you might see in version 25. As of today, they were visible if you enable the code analyzers. And let me know into the comments about the questions that I asked. You know the drill. If you think this content was useful and you learned something new about this, then hit the like button. If you think this will help someone who is learning and would like to keep himself or herself updated, then please share this video with them. And if you haven't, then please do subscribe to the channel, because what is this is just this, but there's a lot more that is coming in which you guys have asked for, and I'll keep posting videos around it. So I'll see you sooner than later on the next video. Till then, keep figuring it out, add questions, learn something new, share it with the community. Let's make this community as one of the co-learning community that we can for the Business Central. So till then, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.